Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. Today is Thursday, March 10th. This is the college basketball odds couple show. Mike Brenner, not too much bullshitting around today. We got a huge card.
We're going to conference madness.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, and unfortunately, just because of the way we're of the times that we do this, we can only really look at the games that had overnight lines. There's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games,
but not all of them. Like yesterday, for example, Virginia Tech. You remember we were talking about that
game?
You
felt that one too, Pete.
Yeah, and because
outright win.
I thought Virginia Tech was going to be a favorite of like 4 or 5 points, and then I was like, if they're that big of a favorite, I'm not going to take them, even though they would have covered. Sure. When I saw them at like 5, I was
phenomenal.
That definitely would have been a pick. You don't know what these lines are going to be.
No,
you know what I mean.
You don't. But you called that. You've been talking about Virginia Tech for a couple
of
days.
Yeah, well,
so they've been right on. Hey, before we get too deep into this, let's pan this board over and take a look, because totals Loshak went 2-1 yesterday to come further out of the abyss. I went 2-2. Again, not acceptable, but at the end of the day, 2-2 is better than 1-3 or 0-4. So I'm at 10-12 right now, 45%. Pete's at 11-13, 45%. It's getting ready to happen, okay? And with that, let's talk about it.
Let's do it. I'm just going to go down the 4 games in each of the 6 major conferences, and if you have a pick on them, if I have a pick on them, we'll discuss it, and then we'll talk about touch on briefly the non-major conferences. All right, so let's start. And again, we don't have. I'm going to be able to give picks on games that had overnight spreads.
Okay.
Too early.
How about this? Later on today, after we do our show, maybe you and I could step up and tweet a little bit and start putting some other plays out.
And no totals. I have nothing. I haven't been able to analyze the totals yet. But all right, so we'll start with the ACC. First of all, UNC, right? Yeah. They're facing Pitt. We did have an overnight line for that, 7.5 or 8. Pitt's on a back-to-back, but UNC looking really good. Yeah. Not necessarily an ATS juggernaut of late, but
I know, and I'm wondering why. I mean, I know that they're trying to make up for some injury issues that they had early on, but still, the ATS record for them is not acceptable, Pete. There you go. Hang in there. You're going to get it back.
And then we have, of course, Duke and Notre Dame, right? Yeah. Now, this one has Notre Dame written all over it. It was 2 on the overnight line. Now it's 2.5. That's actually one that I did bet a little bit. I bet Notre Dame. I bet Notre Dame.
Well, that's one of my picks today.
Okay,
Pete.
let's hear it.
Okay, I got Notre Dame plus 2.5 is what I got it at for the game. I love it. I just think they're going to outman them. They've already beaten them once this year. They know how to play this team. Plus, Duke is undermanned. They only had 8 guys, and they're going to be tired. So I think Notre Dame's going to take advantage of it. And I love. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this. I'm taking Notre Dame for the first half. I'm going to speculative line it, okay? Probably plus 1.5 is probably what they'll get.
Yeah, we'll give you the market-wide number.
Okay, market-wide, and we will check right after the show. But I'm going to take Notre Dame on the first half, and I'm taking Notre Dame on the game. So there's my first 2 picks, and I'm feeling good about that, Pete.
All right, plus 2.5 and the first half. I'm thinking about maybe tailing you.
Okay, well, do it. We can change that song.
I'll do it. Sure. Okay. Notre Dame plus 2.5, not the first half though. Just Notre Dame plus 2.5. Okay. And then of course we also have Virginia against Georgia Tech and Miami revenging against Virginia Tech. The opening line for that one was Miami minus 8, and that one makes me nervous. I'm staying off of that. I'm not going to be taking.
I was thinking of taking Virginia Tech, but I had to back off.
That makes me nervous. Okay, then moving on to the Big 12. Of course we have Kansas State and Kansas. Yeah. No opening line yet. We do have West Virginia. We both talked about how we're high on West Virginia. They're playing TCU. The opening line on that one was West Virginia minus 14.
Wow.
I don't know what you think about that one. We've also talked about Iowa State and Oklahoma, how we really like, we're looking to fade Oklahoma. The line is 3.5.
Well, that's one of my plays.
I believe the line is 3.
It's 3. Yep, there you go. And it's one of my plays.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm taking Oklahoma for the full game. This is a team that's bit me in the ass.
Really? Okay.
You know it. They've bit me. But guess what? I just got a feeling that today Iowa State, with their lack of experience and their coaching situation, finally, the analysis is going to break through. I think for sure that they're going to get the win today. So Oklahoma, I grabbed it minus 3, and I'm doing it on the full game. I'm not messing with the half. But Oklahoma minus 3 on the game, I think they put Iowa State away comfortably.
It's creeping up there. It's 3 or 3.5. It's still 3 at Pinnacle.
That's my third play. Oklahoma on the game minus 3. I'm loving that one, Pete.
I was thinking that Iowa State might actually be a good teaser side. I feel like the game's going to be close, but we'll see. And then you have Baylor, Texas, an interesting game. I'm not touching that one.
Me neither.
Dead on.
Not touching it with a damn 10-foot pole.
Moving right on to the Big East. Wow. Okay, we have Marquette at Xavier. Now, this is interesting because both games this year, actually, Xavier won by just 8. They opened at 10, at -10 at BetOnline.
Again, here comes the factor of, are you tired from the day before? This is what's going to factor into all these
And
ball
also
games.
factor in that this is like a little bit of a bigger game as opposed to like, a mid-season game against a team like Marquette where Xavier's looking back, looking ahead and stuff like that.
Let me ask you your opinion on something, Pete, because I respect it. All right, on the teams that are playing back-to-back, do you think there could be some advantage to first-half plays because they've already got warmed up? They're not going to have to, break the cobwebs off like the other teams. What do you think about that?
It's on a case-by-case basis. Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't make a generalization on that one, but it's on a case-by-case basis. Then also we have Butler Providence, and Providence was struggling for a little while. They've gotten a little bit better.
It back up,
Feels like, again, because I know you like teasers, so I think about it a lot of times when I'm looking at these lines. Feels like it's going to be, I said earlier that a lot of these Big East lines, my sense is that they're going to be very accurate. And my sense is that Providence at +3.5 might be a nice teaser side.
It could be. I think they could get the outright win.
Yeah,
I really do.
I would lean Providence at 3.5 anyway.
Yeah, but teaser value would be fantastic.
Think about teaser. All right, let's move on. Yeah, Providence is a borderline pick for me. Let's move on to the Big Ten. Now we got Wisconsin. This was a game we had circled, and they opened at -7.5 over Nebraska. It's kind of a steep line, though. You know what I mean?
I think it is too. Nebraska looked really good, especially in the second half the other day. They turned it on.
I could see Wisconsin getting a comfortable win, but still just like losing ATS. You know what I mean?
Again, teaser value, I think it's there, but God, I don't know something about it, so stay away, Brenner.
Then there's also Ohio State, notoriously good in the Big Ten tournament, but Penn State seems a bit revitalized recently at 5.5.
They do, I know.
Wouldn't want to take Ohio State.
I was thinking on the teaser with that as well.
All right, no picks in the Big Ten for me. No. Then the Pac-12. Here we go. Now we were both very high on Cal. We've been high on Cal for a while.
What's that line?
Line opened unless there's a glitch in the SK, which I don't think it was. Cal -5 over Oregon State seems like a good bet, right?
Wow.
And the first half. Now I had Oregon State last night, but that was a pretty big play for me.
Game. You know what? I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going with what was the full game? 5?
-5 at BetOnline.
Yeah, I'm going with the first half.
Really?
I'm going with the first
whatever
half.
it is.
Whatever it is. And I'm going to speculate it's going to be 3, but I'll look at it. I will blog. I'll follow up. Cal on the first half should be around -3 over Oregon State.
And I'm going with you on that one as well.
Bam!
I'm going with you on that one.
Loshak's jumping on that one.
Then also another game that I don't know if we want to touch it is Colorado, Arizona. What that line opened at 7.5 at BetOnline. Colorado could be tough.
They could be tough. And Sean Miller's got to be scratching his head. I say that a lot, but it's damn true.
And then same kind of a deal with Washington, Oregon. All right, so moving ahead. Then we move to the SEC.
And by the way, Colorado, Arizona, and that Oregon, Washington, check our picks page because we have some handicappers that did some great articles on those 2 games.
Really?
Fantastic. And put some picks out. Yeah.
I will check that out.
Absolutely.
All right, SEC. Moving on to the SEC. Here we go. I think there were 2 bets that I made on the SEC overnight lines. We circled those games. I think I'm going to get both of them. You know what I'm talking about here, Mike Brenner. First one, Arkansas, Florida. I already decided circled game. A little bit concerning to me and weird that Florida was 2.5 on the overnight. Now it's up to 3.
I know.
But I did bet that one, and you want to stay away from it?
I have to, but I know you have some interest in that.
I'll give it. Arkansas, +3 on the full game. Yes.
I think they're going to bring it, but I just had to stay away.
And then also Alabama, Ole Miss. I mentioned that I like that one. I'm going to take Ole Miss -3, and I'll also take the first half, whatever it is, probably 1.5.
Wow, you're going to remember all this when we recap here? Because I damn sure am not going to remember all yours. Is Kentucky in there?
Kentucky?
Nah.
No, they are not. They do not play today. No.
Okay.
And Tennessee and Vanderbilt play. That's interesting because Vandy beat Tennessee by double digits twice this year. They opened at -10.
Tennessee looked good yesterday.
Yeah, tempting. But Tennessee killed them.
They did.
Actually, that was, I mentioned a lot of my winners. Huge loser for me was Auburn second half. Massive loser.
You jumped all over that one.
Second half, all over it. But Tennessee, very impressive. So, and Tennessee's also beaten Vanderbilt 7 out of the last 8 times.
I know it. And they're a younger team, so I'm wondering if they're going to be tired, or will that win springboard them into confidence level that they've not been and just go in there and trounce them. So I don't know.
All right.
Hey, look, I have another pick I'm doing also.
From the Big Six?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the other ones. Yeah, this is one that I bet on the overnight line. Miami, Ohio, turned a corner. Is that your pick? Is that your pick?
No, it's not.
Miami, Ohio, turned a corner. They just recently beat Buffalo at Buffalo outright. And I think this might be one of those no-brainers, and it's 5.5. I bet that one. Should I give it as a pick?
I don't know. Last time you said it should be a no-brainer, you lost by 8. So
did I?
Yeah, I promise you did. It was last week, but we don't want to talk about the past. But hey, go for it.
I'm going for it. Miami, Ohio, plus 5.5 on the full game line.
Today.
Yeah, Miami, Ohio. a +5.5 on the full game line. All right, what's your other pick?
Well, I hope you're keeping track of your picks.
I am.
All right, I'm going with an ACC game. I'm taking North Carolina. It's an early game, okay? North Carolina on the first half.
Oh, it is a Big Six game.
Yep.
Okay.
I got it -4.
Okay.
On the first half, so I got North. I'm going to review what I got because I'm getting confused from all yours.
Go ahead. So
I got
March Madness.
That's right. Loshak is unleashed. I got North Carolina on the first half -4. That's an early game. I got Notre Dame on the first half +1.5. Notre Dame for the game +2.5. And then I got Oklahoma -3 for the game. So I've got 4 picks total in college hoops today, and I'm feeling good about it, Pete.
All right, and then there were some other picks that I made on the overnight. So I'll tell you what I bet.
You can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them.
I bet Central Florida over Tulane. Central Florida is not a good team, but they've handled Tulane. I bet that on the overnight. Fordham turned a corner, and I took them at +5.5 on the overnight. Now it's 5. UC Davis, I bet that one's small, just the line's a little bit off, +8, and I also took UMass at +7. Those are all bets that I made on the overnight. I could give them all as picks.
I know, but you're going to confuse the hell out of the viewers.
I'm confusing the hell out of myself.
Me. All right, do you have any other picks you're going to put out for our viewers? Because this thing's getting ready to go up today.
Yeah, I could pick out all 4 of them. Why don't you, do you have to go to show the thing
We're
again?
going to span over the board.
All right,
you can go ahead
scan
and look
over it, and I will try to get
well, with that
my
being
thoughts
said, because Loshak is unleashed today. All right, again, Brenner, I'm 10 and 12, 45%. I've got 4 picks out today, feeling really good about them, so we're going to move that number up. Trust me. All right, Pete's 11 and 13 at 45%. He's got like 632 picks out there, so if he hits 50% today. No, anyway, we'll get to Pete's, but he's feeling good also. And when March Madness hits, this is when this guy unleashed.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. He gets hot, so jump on board.
All right, you know what? I'm going to add Fordham at +5, I think. Or no, you know what?
They had some big wins this year, though.
Yeah, they did. No, you know what? For the non-big conferences, I'll just add Miami, Ohio +5.5. Although I will go my other 4 bets: Central Florida -3.5, Fordham +5, UC Davis +7, and UMass +8. I could add any of those. And as far as a review of my picks, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to waste people's time. But
well, I don't know what your picks are.
All right, I'll review.
I think you need to review them, Pete,
I was with you on Notre Dame +2.5, right?
Yes.
Then in the Big 12, nothing. Then I was on Big East, nothing, right? Then Big 10 was nothing, right? Then on Cal, right? Cal.
Yep. Cal, you went with me on the first
half.
Yep.
Then I'm on Arkansas +3, Ole Miss -3, and Ole Miss on the first half. And I guess that's it, right?
I'm glad
and
you
then
brought-
Miami, Ohio +5.5.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up Cal because that's my 5th pick. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's right there. I had Cal also.
March
so
Madness.
It
Okay.
is March Madness. And again, real quick, I got Notre Dame on the first half in the game. I got Oklahoma on the game. I've got UNC on the first half. That's North Carolina. And I got Cal on the half. 5 picks. There it is.
One
The
way or
shades are
another,
out.
I think we've communicated what we set out to communicate at the beginning of this video. And we will be back
get the hell outta
tomorrow
here.
for tomorrow's card.
That's right. Have a great day.